Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. I am newtmechanist, and today we are going to be trying to wrap up PowerWash Simulator, and if we do, we'll move on to Observation Duty 8. But ultimately, it is going to depend on how far we get in PowerWash. But before we do, let's check in with the kitties. We do have, let's see, Mason on the bed, and you can also see part of Molly over in the play area. Ember passing through to the table. Hello, Ember. He says, I see you're talking. That means captive audience for pets. Molly coming in to get a little drink. I do need to add more water to the fountain. No, that's Sammy. Molly's still where she was. I've got little, they're kind of horseshoe-shaped scratching things. And some of them will sit on them for, like, positioning purposes. They want to get my attention when I'm walking through. But a couple of them like to tip them over. So it's sort of like a kind of a little half-pipe looking thing that they will sit in, put their forepaws in it. Like a little cat chair. But yes, PowerWash. Last time we had... Again, I think we've got to be nearing endgame. Oh, Sky's there on the bed, too. I thought it was just a trick of the light, but that is the back half of Sky. But we'd gotten to a cave on the side of the volcano after we found the stolen merman gems and plugged them back in. One of the beams seemed to go where it originally went, but a second beam formed and went to this mountain, where we had previously cleaned a ski lodge. So we cleaned the exterior. We can see giant buildups of the special crystal. It opened the door, and now we are into the extra filthy interior, which seems to lead up to some sort of altar. Getting real kind of teleport gate vibes here. But let's get started, though. Make sure we can hear the sound of the sprayer. There we go. PowerWash white noise is a critical factor. Important gameplay elements. And I don't really joke about that. There are elements of some games that seem like they're just secondary. Or, oh, that's just there. That's kind of assumed. And it's, no, that's actually can be a huge element as far as game quality. Let's set the trident here. Buttons. No. Where are the buttons for this? Let's see. Is it this one? No. Exactly, Jay. Nothing can possibly go wrong by subjecting crystalline and stone structures to high-pressure jets of water. But also, welcome, Jay. Welcome. Interesting. That's just a layer of crystal, I guess. Okay. Let's go back to our green nozzle here. We'll see how much is left. PowerWash continues to be kind of surprising of how, as far as how much content there is in it. Both the type of content, but as well, but also the amount of things that they give you. The first one had a really big base game, a good amount of DLC content, as well as like post-release content additions. You know, further stories and things to do in the base game. These floor elements here. Okay. Iron chisel. No pressure, Sprucey, but the moon is nearing the point of no return. You're our only hope. So, extraction of special crystals from the volcano in disabling the statue, instead of just activating the volcano again, appears to have destabilized the moon, causing it to spin wildly. Don't wish no pressure on a power washer, Chizzy. That's asking for trouble. Good point, as you were. Nice little jokes. Nice little jokes. Interesting to see how much content we have left, though. Given the nature of that altar, I think we're going to have at least either another room in this place, or we'll have a whole other level of cleaning what's beyond the gate, you know? Favorite underappreciated aspect of game design? So as far as what, like, is it considered part of design? Let's see. I feel like one of the aspects is how the user interface contributes to both gameplay as well as the content. So what is it about the way the user perceives extra information in the world that helps you, like, tell your story, that helps you inform them of how the game works? So, for example, a really common thing is like tutorial pop-ups. That is a common way that games convey how things work. And that is definitely a way to do it. Other games will, put that in the world. For example, Binding of Isaac in the first room has the basic controls. Noida did the same thing. But you can incorporate that both into the world, so your diegetic UIs, things like health and ammo readouts in some shooter games. So, in some basic shooters, you get a visual indication around the screen that you're hurting, not necessarily an explicit life bar. In Dead Space, you had the spinal energy bar that was the integrity of your suit, So in those ways, like putting user interface into the world or making it, or presenting it as more vague. So when it's in the world, it again, feels like part of the world. It feels like something that's actually there, and it removes non-game bits from the screen. I'm not being presented with a health bar, that's just how the armor looks, kind of thing. In the case of the I don't show you a health bar, I just give you a like a red glow around the screen, that can be I'm obfuscating information from you, but it's still there in a way. And as far as how that pulls into design, that helps you create different elements of gameplay that aren't just part of the immediate interaction. It's not move left, thus go. Again, like your Binding of Isaac starting room, showing you those controls. It is, I am explicitly hiding this information from you because it is intended that you not know it expressly. And that informs a lot of how the rest of the game should flow as well. Core information is being obfuscated, so we should be consistent about that. And when it's done well, you can really feel it. When it's done badly, it interferes with your core gameplay, and that's bad. Hey there, Dodds. Welcome, welcome. So for example, there are a lot of games where the gameplay relies on extra information. So, is this weapon good to use on this enemy? Let's use a really straightforward example, Pokemon games, where part of the user interface is giving you feedback, like the text interface includes feedback on the results of your action. Both numbers, explicit numbers, but also an indication of the success. So, let's say Pokemon didn't tell you that the move was super effective or not very effective or, what have you. That leaves it to you to find that information out, either organically through gameplay, or personally, more likely, you're going to look it up online. And that kind of game design, we hide it, but it's information that can be extracted, my personal opinion is that kind of behavior rises from the old Prima Guide era of game development, where people got away with kind of crummy interfaces and the like, and lack of information, because they would just have a, extra purchase booklet along with the game that would fill in the blanks for that. Oh, you can just look that up in the guide that you pay an extra $20 for. But once that era stopped, being predominant, once your GameFAQs and now, one of 1 billion wikis of your choice became dominant, then the utility of, that's no longer driving extraneous sales, but also it is information that you are effectively telling me I have to leave the game and go elsewhere to find this. Dodds over on Twitch brings up a good point. This is not a underappreciated element of design, but one that is a common thing that angers users. Now, it doesn't productively anger them. It doesn't, convince them not to make a purchase and thus perpetuate the cycle. but is the assumption of online connectivity in games that don't need it. Or the requirement of online connectivity. And that, too, is part of design. I mean, every element of how a game is presented to the consumer should be part of design. And should be very intentional. The reason why this is in should be very clear to the developer and to the player. And that reason needs to sync up with the rest of the game. Like, if you have online connectivity required, the player should feel like they get something out of it. Like, this is a benefit to me. I like what I'm being presented with. If all it does is ultimately say, you have to be online so I can advertise at you, then that doesn't feel compelling. That feels like I'm being penalized. Now, their goal is to make the monies. That is very frequently the entirety of their goal, start to finish. And that's not an unjust goal. That is the market at work. Hey, Opie. Welcome back. You can make me go get a ladder. Do I even have a ladder here? It's that random guy's scooter. Oh, there's extra gnomes around this field. So there's a gnome here, which I can't reach, but they are present. I think I saw another one over this way. Yep, there's a gnome here, which I also cannot reach. Again, the implication that we are being stalked by lawn gnomes. But yeah, very long-winded there, Jay, but that is kind of where I fall on that, is... Chat feed not coming through? Ah, there we go. We mentioned it last time, Jay, but there's this indication that the guy just power washes. Like, that is the entirety of his existence. It's not that this is a job, it's what he does. So they're saying, like, oh, you're saving the world, but it's just that he's come here to power wash. That's it. That is why he's here. So all the narrative about, like, oh man, you've saved the world and whatnot, that's incidental. That is, as a result of your actions, the world was saved, not you saved the world. Collateral, not damage. I mean, alternately, if it wasn't that the problem facing the world resulted in dirt, and that is an aspect that we were introduced to in this, is that tampering with the crystals, the thing that the villains or the antagonists are doing, is causes a cloud of filth and dirt to pursue them, or to radiate out from anywhere that they go, with the crystals that they've taken. So a vehicle powered by it gets shrouded in a dirt cloud. Dump trucks hauling it become exceptionally filthy in moments. That kind of thing. So if it weren't for that being a side effect, then this guy wouldn't have gotten involved in any of this. A part of why I hypothesize that is that there is seemingly no care from your character, from your point of view character, that the name of the company has never been a singular thing. So the guy that initially helped you make the company always kept changing the name. So all of the flyers, all of the names when people contacted him, that changed moment by moment, and people still do it. They refer to you by different names. That creates two concepts, is that the character doesn't care about that. That is not something that they have set out to change or correct. But additionally, it creates that, like, unknown hero. I think it's like the hero with 1,000 faces or something like that. You are not this guy who is a power washer. You are the power washer. So when there are things that need power washing, you show up to power wash them. That's what you do. That's what you are. This has been my overly academic description of the main character in a game about power washing stuff. But that's also something that that can be another aspect of game design, is what is your POV character? What is the player's point of view? Frequently, the concept of a tabula rasa POV character gets conflated with silent protagonist. So your tabula rasa main characters are ones that are effectively, they're your puppet. They say whatever you want them to say. They do what you want them to do. So the only indication of their personality and behavior is what you have made them do. But even if you can control some of what they say, if you pay attention to what they say, and how characters react, that can tell you what kind of character they actually are. So, would be a good example I think people would recognize. So Fallout characters are generally tabula rasa. They have a background, but one moment. Back on terra firma, I'm with Rusty in Detergento, just in time to see the festivities kick off. Perfect timing. How are you getting on up there? Hope you're getting somewhere, bud. But so Fallout characters can say different things, and what you choose to say impacts the narrative. Now, sometimes you have characters where what you choose to say is largely just the same thing. Like, the character might be a little more snarky about it, or they might be, like, sullen or enthusiastic. Any number of different ways they say it. But if you look, they may ultimately be saying the same thing. So it might get a rise out of one of the characters, and they respond like, oh, that's a silly way to say that, or I can't believe you said it that way. But it doesn't really change what's going to happen. Now, you don't want that to be if the answer that you give is essentially implies like it's a yes-no question, and no matter how you answer, nothing changes, is despite the fact that the answer was distinctly different. You know, do you want to go through this door? Yes or no? No. Okay, but we really need to go through this door. And then they present you with yes or no again, or that kind of thing. That's a false choice. That's not what I'm talking about. That is, we are presenting you with a choice, well, what looks like a choice, but it isn't. This is more... Even though the character never has a voice, or doesn't really seem to have a voice, there is a character implied in the way that they interact with the world and how the world reacts to them. And if that seems to be a character, even if they're silent, they are not a blank slate character. And they are not a self-insert character. I mean, I guess it could still be a self-insert character, but then it would feel weird because that self-insert character's behavior is determined beforehand. Undertale uses a silent character that your choices do impact them, but they are presented as this is how the character actually behaves. So you influence how they behave, but that is sort of like you're redirecting them. Doing a genocide run and getting the ending associated with that implies both a very different character is being presented at the same time that you are being essentially defined, which I think is a good touch. I really like the we're not going to really let you go take this back. You made this choice concept of Undertale. I mean, I love the rest of the game, but I think from a construction perspective, from a design perspective, the fact that the choices, it's not just that choices matter in that it influences the narrative, it's that these choices have consequence. You can't take them back. Within the limits of mechanics. That would actually be an interesting opportunity for a game that requires a connection for the purposes of saving your game. And that's that for the game to operate, for it to retrieve data on the game, it pings a remote server. Let's say Steam. It pings Steam and looks at your achievements. Those achievements become the record of what you have done in the game. And that includes kind of choices you made. Like, did you kill this person? You are presented with an opportunity to do it through the events of the game. Did you make the choice to kill that person? If you did, you could have it where that person is dead forever. Doesn't matter if you start a new game, doesn't matter if you reinstall. That is a choice you made. That person's gone. Would it require a lot of other craftsmanship to make that work in a game? Yes. But it creates a really interesting narrative, opportunities for narrative within the game proper, but also the sort of meta-narrative of, like, you made the choice to do this. You did this thing. It is not just that you're going to get a different ending, it's that the consequences of this action do not go away. Could people make mistakes and think, or could people assert, well, I made a mistake? And the question is, what was your mistake? And that would often boil down to, I didn't realize that my choice would actually have consequences. And I think if you're pushing for a choices matter kind of game, that is a way that you could design it to be really compelling without having to go down the road of infinitely branching narrative. You should see the parade, Wishy. It's amazing. Everyone's really gone to town. So nice to see everyone come together like this. Let's get the remainder of the outer edge going here. Yeah, Pirate Software described it as a anti-piracy thing. That if it was a pirated copy and you didn't have access to the achievements, you couldn't essentially have save data. Which, paired with how Undertale works and the comment on like how they did that, it's like, that's an interesting idea. You could wire that into actual gameplay. I guess, circling back around to that initial question, underappreciated element of design is holistic design, is the entire game should feed into each of its parts. Like on a very surface level of this kind of concept, if the game is supposed to be all grim and dark, your user interface shouldn't be bright or even necessarily purely utilitarian. You should convey elements of that in there. Exactly there, J-Wing. If we were to extend that out into the model I'm describing, you wouldn't even be able to manually modify the save. You would have to alter the game itself. So alter the game file, the actual executable, the actual assembly, to make it so that it would not do the check that it normally would. And at that point, if you fundamentally altered the way the game functions like that, you're not playing the same game anymore. Which, if what you've created is a narrative that is simultaneously about the player, that act just extends it. Will that work? Like, will that be a game that is attractive to every crowd? No. It's really bad for speedrunning. It's going to have a lot of people that you're going to get it's just a game. I should be entertained in the way that I want to be. Crowd would be very unhappy with that kind of game. But that, too, is part of design. It's actually saying, who is going to be playing this? Who might enjoy this? And does that align with my goals? So, if my goals are just to make the monies, I want the game to be as palatable to everybody I can. Within reason. Like, we're not talking, my shooter has to be appealing to the casual phone game market, you know. But in this case, it's like I would be pitching this at players who want a truly impactful narrative experience, and I'd need to be a good writer. Yep, you're always going to have people that aren't interested in a particular commodity. And that's also why trying to appeal to everybody doesn't work. Because, everybody has different tastes. A common thing in development, I can't remember what it's called, but there is essentially a listing of video game player types. And you will frequently see people talk about how they appeal to each of those types. And I assert that some of those types cannot cohabitate. There is one of those types that the thing that they want to get out of games boils down to, I want to have fun at the expense of other people. And those people don't play nice with the people that want very casual, like, creative experiences or narrative experiences. You can keep them separate, but at that point you're making multiple different games, and that's extra effort. And that's where your analysis of what kind of play are we looking for here? What kind of players will like this game? And you get to define that. Like, that is not you're looking at a list somewhere, or you shouldn't. Look at a list of, these are all of the types of players. It's, I want... game for everyone... Yes, typical MMOs tend to try to appeal to everyone. Comes the floats. Wow, the people of Lubris missed that. Yes, typical MMO design tries to appeal to a lot of people at once. But they frequently run afoul of that opposing interests element. Like, let's say WildStar. Loved the art in that. They had a great housing system. The leveling experience, the running around on the ground doing things, was actually kind of fun. Basic theme park MMO, but well done. But their marketing and their end game was very much focused on the hardcore MMO raider crowd. They expressly, like in a lot of their marketing materials, were aiming to attract the old school 40-man WoW raiders, heavy EverQuest raiders, those kind of folks. But that appeal doesn't work for the casual folks. And if that's all you have at your end game, how are all those other folks being kept entertained? A lot of MMOs fall into this trap. Yep. It's a careful balance. It becomes a very careful balance of those systems. And that's why narrowing down what you're trying to create and understanding what that is going to help you. Yeah, this is all like from a outside looking in, my opinion kind of thing. I am no express scholar of game design. This is my experience both as a programmer, as a And as a consumer of this stuff, as somebody that has played games throughout my life and observed games that have come out that have succeeded and failed in their own ways, that kind of thing. Hello, Stiggy. Welcome. One way to address this kind of question is when you're making it, it's how does this convey the fun to my players? And the fun is not like, you know, I'm on a theme park ride. I am having fun, you know. This is, the fun is whatever the game delivers. Is it challenge? Is it some sort of emotion you're trying to convey, that kind of thing? How does this deliver that? How does this give the player that thing? And that will make you think about, well, who does that actually work for? You know, what kind of player gets that? Well, see, and that's actually another aspect of it, Tass. You don't mix your peas with your mashed potatoes. I know people that is exactly what you do. You know, the dinner plate is also who you are serving it to. Hey there, Rogue Radio. Welcome. I've actually had people that will suggest things like games that, you know, oh, you might like this kind of game because you're playing this. Like, I like games like Observation Duty. You know, there are cameras. I'm looking around. I'm looking for stuff. And people will say, oh, well, you know, what did you think of Five Nights at Freddy's? And my reaction is generally, I really don't like Five Nights at Freddy's. The gameplay is unappealing to me because I'm looking to get a different thing out of it. I like that spot the difference concentration aspect of Observation Duty, and Five Nights at Freddy's doesn't really give me that. Yep. One of the ways I refer to it, Dodds, is like, I don't like closet stealth. I don't mind games where you're creeping along and you position yourself not to be seen, kind of thing. But I don't like run and hide in the closet. And Five Nights at Freddy's is you are in the closet and you're just closing the door periodically. And that's that aspect of that game's not for me. And from a development perspective, identifying that you have an idea of what the attraction of your game will be, and you build for that. As opposed to, here are all of these players, here are all of these wallets, and I want all of them. Like, you can pull it off, but that's so much extra effort that still might not work. I think ultimately the food plate metaphor, Tess, is a awkward one. You know, as a consumer of food, you know, hello fellow humans. It's, if somebody were to bring me a plate and there was a segment of that plate devoted to something that I find repugnant, like, oh, that's awful, I hate that kind of food. Like, I'm not going to be happy with them. I wouldn't have ordered that. And that's not to say it doesn't, you know, it works for my angle of it, either. Oh, okay. That's Ember and Sky. They are the two oldest cats. But I think to Tass's point, the idea of you can have an experience that caters to multiple different types of gameplay, but if you're going to do that, you need a way to keep everybody happy. And sometimes that means essentially keeping them completely separate of each other. I have some bias. I like Final Fantasy XIV. It has, you know, endgame rating. It has PvP elements. But they largely are separate from each other. The really hardcore rating has no impact on core gameplay for, like, leveling, for narrative, for PvP. PvP is essentially a separate gameplay experience. Crafting is largely a separate gameplay experience, but they feel fully realized, and they don't interfere with each other. And that's what you're shooting for if you're going for multiple different types of audience. If you can't actually do that successfully, then why are you doing that? Why are you trying to do that? Make sure we get the full circle here done. Yes, the 14's fashion endgame creates a very, well, MMO fashion endgame creates an extra layer to that, in that I want the most premium raid gear also has the factor of, no, I don't want it because of its stats. I want it because it looks cool. I have definitely run dungeons repeatedly because there is a very particular outfit that I want to get out of it. But that is also an aspect of gameplay. That is an aspect that some players might find interesting, is I can make a character that looks cool. And the designers of 14 are really starting to grasp precisely what that means. They've been slow going on it, but they are steadily realizing, man, people really like this stuff. But persistent experiences, live service games, you know, your MMOs, your gotchas and whatnot, they have different aspects as well. Some of them good and bad. So if we want to take a spin over on the evil side of things, we have stuff that is often referred to as dark patterns. Things that are incorporated in order to manipulate the psychology of human beings. Ooh, and that task, that brings up the concept of your composites, where you're going to have players that fit multiple types. So your hardcore raider, who is also very appearance focused, you know, how their character looks, is going to be really upset if the best in slot helmet is, you know, clown shoes ugly. If they can't find a way to work around that. Comes the Muckingham float. Wait, is that Indy and Park Warden up there? It is. Yup. He looks incredible in the hat and ginger cat costume. He's body popping. Honestly, didn't think he had it in him. Something we'll have to activate once the gate is clean, since we have the beam is running right through the kind of intersection at the top, and each time we've fully cleaned the relevant structure, the beam has interacted. So I mean that's a good way to encapsulate one of the issues of trying to make a game for everyone. Is that you will run into you may find yourself running into problems that are, because this person overlaps both of these categories. If I'm trying to make the game for everyone, that includes this kind of person. And if there isn't a way to combine all of the things they like in all of the experience, their happiness diminishes. Tess's example of, they don't like heavy PvP gameplay, but they do like everything else. They do like the fashion gameplay, and one of the coolest fashion items requires you to do heavy PvP. Oops, you have a problem now. Take this opportunity to get up a little higher so I can hit those. PowerWash parkour in action. Now, one way to dodge all of the stuff we've been talking about, and I think Tass mentioned it earlier, is just make your game. If you have all of the aspects that you, if you execute fully on the game you want, then the players that want that will play it. Because then you focus on how is everything I'm doing contributing to my core gameplay? How does it all make this work nice together? We've joked about it, but the existence of this very game is an indication that you will probably have players out there somewhere. Your real-time strategy visual novel with vaguely sexual elements probably has an audience. You just need to make sure that they find out about it. Of games that have huge modding scenes where the community can completely overhaul the experience. Modding is now, not every game needs to incorporate it, but modding can essentially be free press and sales. Like, if there's a way that it works, like that you could make it work in a tangible way, modding is a good idea. because you could end up getting people that buy the game entirely because they want to play a particular mod of your game. It's part of the reason that my data files are structured the way they are in the game that I'm making. Is I want it to be moddable. I had fun modding in Noida, and like I want that same thing, and it's also why not? It's a large reason why you know, the makers of Minecraft kind of annoy me a great deal. And from a design perspective, we're not talking, you know, Notch's behavior. So after the acquisition to Microsoft, you had the Bedrock Edition, which was their shift to another programming language, and the glacial pace at which they are incorporating modability. You have the fact that a great many things as far as modding were driven through community-created mod pack managers, and a lot of their early actions started to diminish the functionality of those. With the very clear goal of trying to create a walled garden experience. Like, why would you do that? And the answer is very short-sighted attempts at things like market dominance. Saying like, well, there's money that we could be making here if we controlled the mods, if people had to pay to access them. Not realizing that, like, those mod makers will just go away. And if they do, you got no mods. Another way to look at mods is free content generation. Now, not just in that they are adding content to your game, that's fantastic as well, but you can look at it and say, hey, this is a really popular mod. Content is a bad way to put this. Free gameplay research. So let's say there's a popular mod that is viewed as, like, integral if people want to play the game. Like, every tutorial out there on how to get started with your game includes download this mod. Yeah, a whole pile of WoW user interface mods. Deadly boss mods in particular. As a developer, you are doing yourself and your community a great disservice if you are not paying attention to which mods people load and figuring out why they do that. Because then you can look at that and say, hey, I can either work with this mod maker to make it like an official option, you know, give them credit and just add it to your system. Or you can try to make an official version that is, you know, what they made, but better. I'll joke about it with things like games with microtransactions and whatnot. It's like, I don't like evil design patterns, but I also greatly resent that if you are going to be evil, that you're bad at it. Oh, yeah, here's our portal. Oh, no, it's a phantom gem of some kind. Okay, it is a giant core of the crystals that we've been dealing with here. Yes. You know, I can at least respect the craftsmanship of your death ray if you're a competent evil genius. But, you know, if you've just, you know, thrown together a dirty bomb or something like that, that's just being lazy. Oh, yeah, we can see how the moon is spinning. That is the side effect of the people messing with the magic crystals in this narrative. And the reason that the time travelers contacted us again. Tech billionaires dug too deeply and too greedily, and now the moon is spinning. And only extreme cleanliness can bring us through safely. Crystal is whirling all over the place. Is beaming the moon now. Are we going to see it stop spinning? I mean, the moon now has like a glow around it. All right, time lapse. You can see as I clean off the reflectors, it bounced down. I have no idea how, but you've done it again. Now get yourself outside, quick as you can. The fireworks are starting. And we turn off desktop sound because music is playing. Kitties. Feels very channel appropriate, the number of cats surrounding the power washer. I like that we get this full closing video here. Can't believe you've done it again. Proud of you. These are all the characters thanking you. Nice. Oh, is it going to do all of the replays? It is. Oh, that's a good touch. That's a good touch. And this is my gameplay. You can see the different outfits that I was using. Yes, the gas station of the hot dog cult. The Zeppelin that the mayor used to steal the crystals from the merman statue. The fact that the crystals were stolen and that they were transported by Zeppelin was the reason the Zeppelin was filthy. Looking at those runes, that really had the vibe of the crystal aiming at the moon. Like, it didn't do anything, but it had an... To me, that image could be interpreted as that that crystal aimed at the moon. Phase 1 of the movie theater. The motel turned day spa. The amusement park where the mayor was chased around by the citizens, pelting him with food. The mayor's limo. It's the gaudiest thing. The car that was powered by the special crystals. The stage production showing that the mayor was the thief. The stolen truck the mayor was using to transport the merman's gems. Nice. Very nice. So PowerWash lets you replay all of the levels. There's also the furniture catalog where you can unlock stuff. And the furniture you can place in the building. It will appear here. And just like this rug, you can just wash it off and then place it within the building. But yeah, that's PowerWash Simulator. Let's switch over to cams for a moment. This is why my streams don't have the game set today. They are just generic gaming. Because I figured this would happen. So we are going to switch over to observation duty. Finding. There it is. It was. The music isn't bad there, but especially because it was acoustics with vocals, that screams to me that it's potentially going to get content ID claimed. And while YouTube has a decent system for cutting out that kind of audio, it annoys me. So generally, the game audio gets muted very quickly if I hear someone start singing. All right. Boop. All right, on to observation duty. Now for something completely different. Last time we finished the range level. Our wrap-up of that was pretty intense. No, the ending music was actually very nice. But yeah, anytime someone is singing, there's a really strong chance it'll get a content ID strike. And especially if I plan on doing a longer stream, I need to watch out for that because you can't do the auto extraction of audio from a stream. If I was just like posting highlight reels and whatnot, then it's easy enough to avoid. But it still annoys me. So we finished the ranch, and we were getting started with the airport. So likely we're going to have to relearn this. For those unfamiliar with the observation duty games, we're trying to spot differences. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes they're subtle. But we pay attention to what's on each camera and try to see if something changes, like if the posters are different, if handles are missing, if this hallway is longer than it should be. All of those are things that can happen. We saw this this alcohol bottle do a little dance. It was very cute. But it is generally a game of memorization. And starting with the 7th and 8th games, also a little bit of puzzle solving, and that sometimes you have to figure out how to prevent yourself from being killed. And that can be like little mini games for each level. All right, as of right about now, we should have something wrong. Something will have changed. And now we try to find it. You have about like 15 in-game minutes before 10 to 15 before an anomaly can happen. That's your opportunity to kind of take a quick look. This is on the wrong side, I think. And see if you can kind of learn what the area is supposed to look like. Intruder anomalies can sometimes move around, and if you don't notice them frequently enough, then it can lead to a kill condition. Ghosts can appear. We haven't had some so far. It's got a lot more like cryptid SCP kind of vibes to it. Strange creatures and the like. Like, all of these, like, the flight boards, like, they've all gone canceled before. Seen, like, handprints on the monitor there. This has flipped up, I think. There it is. Creepy face on the back of the chair when we look behind the flipped up tray. There's a tray with a mug here. I still need to figure out a way to reduce the glare on my screens for doing this game. Sometimes the glare will conceal things in the shadows. Is that little notch flipped around? It was not. Gameplay-wise, you have to identify what's wrong in that menu. It takes time to acknowledge what it is. If it's wrong, it takes extra time before you can do another guess. If 4 things are wrong at the same time, then you lose. So a non-trivial element is this going through and kind of memorizing what the place looks like. I refer to the game as an auto-gaslighting game. You start to doubt yourself. You start to question whether something has changed or not. You start to think, no, that hasn't changed. That's always been that way. This poster, Fly With Us, was changed to Die With Us once, where the plane at the end of the contrails was replaced with an explosion. Is that the same thing that was in there before? It was.
Good morning, all passengers. This is your captain speaking. Cut a ring around it.
The captain and everybody on the plane went missing just before it was supposed to take off, but signs of the captain have started to show up again. And this was after they had completely searched the plane. So that was one of our obvious ones. Both a visual and auditory cue. I think we've got to be sitting at the 1 and 2 range, probably 2. We haven't gotten our 3 warning yet, but it should be happening shortly. Once during each round, you'll be warned if you have 3 going at once. There isn't a lore explanation of what they do. The Bodak organization that you are working with, it seems like, you know, they go in and they fix it. We are not given an indication of what they do. Hello there, Enjoyer. This is the this is the 8th game in that series. Don't think we've found the special intruder for this level yet, or any of the special intruders for this level. Like, we saw the creepy face, but I think that was always that way. There's our 3 warning. You only get warned once, so even if I were to suddenly clear all 3 of them in rapid succession, if 3 more happen, you don't get warned again. Second, whatever that bottle is. Okay, we're down to 2. Okay. I will definitely try to react to chat, folks. I might be slowed down because of the, you know, focusing. It's not going to stop us from losing here, but, you know. Oh. Oh, yeah, it's fully missing now. I've played all of them. I really like this series. We didn't play through 2 because I didn't want my stream to get dinged. I'm just generally unlucky with my stream content being noticed, and 2 has some explicit scenes. It's Cinemax explicit, but still. Oh, hi. This is a kill condition, by the way. It takes... that was the Howler. The achievement is Tinnitus. So most of the intruders will begin a kill condition, unless it's just the big fat man. If you don't figure out how to report them properly, you'll lose. In that case, you had to hold the cursor on him for longer. It's supposed to be there. Images seem right. Not always here. That is a evacuation procedures poster, but when the screen goes black, you just hear the door getting kicked in and some, you know, punching sounds. Hey there, James. Welcome. Holding on by a thread at this point, but it's getting there. We're learning. Economy? It would seem the lighting was that way. We have the hinge, we have the handles, we have the hatch door there. Don't worry about it. We are within losing range, and this is also, don't worry about backseating, folks. This is definitely a backseating game. You are free to offer things that you think have changed as you like. Something was missing in the gate. Is it some part of the door? Well, we'll see when we come back around, Tess. The plane's entrance had an image. Maybe one of the posters changed, and there was an extra object in the toilet. So something missing here. There are a few candidates for that. One of these images probably changed, or the sign. I think it was this sign, actually. I don't think it was showing the person entering the door there. In those, that's regular, that's there. Each side, there and there. Can't really, I can really only see there's a shape here and there's a white thing there. Bag and glass, full suitcase. Many button, vest, briefcase maybe, thing on floor. Buckles, banana and mug. I wonder if the length and positioning of these straps will come into play. Fire extinguisher, all arms down. Mirror and sign and sign and sign and sign, magazine, toilet paper. I'm guessing hand soap, but I don't... Is that like a deodorizer or something? Looks like a spray bottle, you know? Paper towels on that side, dent on that side. Litter here. For those really long flights, huh, Tass? The glare and the dimness makes this look like a face to me. But I thought that throughout the entirety of the last run, and it wasn't the wrong thing. We've had things as simple as one of these arms was raised. The person in this sign saying don't stand on the toilet when you're using it was inverted once, so their head was in the toilet. It's definitely something active right now. Trays seem to be in order. The luggage seems right. Lights in the entryway. Let's see when we get it back around there. Well, there's that guy. He's not supposed to be there. Especially in 7, this guy has been in every level. Starting with 7, every level. Red, green, red, and green, red. Gate 2 going through. All places seeming relevant. Yeah, that guy tends to be just, you know, he's just there. I mean, he's got places to be, things to do. Images. Is those back stripes always there? I know there are stripes here. There were. Lights in here? Do one more try on it. That's right, auto gaslighting. It's worse when you get insistent on it, like you are convinced that it was different. There's gonna have to be something in the shadows at some point. Things, lock and handle, magazine. Plant, poster, 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 poster. The cockpit's console lights should be kind of orangey colored. Are they perhaps not? Oh, wow. Fog in here in business class. We are failing hard this time. Yeah, all these should be this kind of orangey color. This changed. The gray figure silhouette was not there in the picture before. Nothing says health and safety like a surprise fumigation. tray. This one happens pretty frequently. All the trays are back. We got that one back down. There's luggage, purse, glass, white thing, shape. Handprint. Seems correct, but buckle, straps, extinguisher, mug, and banana. The wear on the middle of that made it look like something different to me for a moment. Uh-oh. There we go. We had a connection interruption. A shape that I can't see clearly in that seat. I know, right? Very clearly cheating there, Jay. All the flights are canceled. We are staying alive by the skin of our teeth right now. Okay, no, that's just perspective. Made them look weird. Looked like the windows were missing for a moment, but it was just the positioning, you know? Okay. Reflection seemed odd for a moment. This is... A loss is imminent right now. This is a spatial anomaly as well. No, room manipulation. That might cost us. So the whole room is scrunched in. There was a whole slice missing. This whole region was missing. First time we've had the room is smaller as opposed to the room is bigger. I suspect that there's two of them that are present that we haven't identified at all yet. Enemy. This. Seems like we've got all of the things. One of the types of problem can be one of the cameras isn't working. Oh, yep. That might be the wrong report. I might need to do a click report. They are doing a better job with the reporting in 8 than so far in most of the priors is. It looks like they may have looked at some of them and said, like, this counts. Like, this is very similar. So, like, the ending will call out object manipulation, but it will accept movement to clear it, kind of thing. Well. I know in the earlier games, you could get circumstances where it was like, well, you know, we meant that it was poltergeist and not just that the objects were moving. I feel like that's not right. Nope. No chicken wings is what that poster says. Okie dokie.
Good morning, all passengers. This is your captain speaking. Cut a ring around here.
We're living in 1 to 2 at the moment. We're anywhere. We've also got the warning. I just think we're at probably more likely 2 than 3. I bet we're not at 1. What? These in a different position / order. It seem not. Like, light anomaly is also in the right-click menu, and it seems like it will accept it. That way you don't have to try to suss out, is this talking about the whole room or just this one? No, this specific light, or is it considered room level? Correct. I think so, Tass. Just mark this one. The seat? Yeah, was the seat always black? It would seem so. Oh dear. Hanging on by a thread, but I feel like we're about to lose. There's still something about this location that we're missing entirely. There are some that are under the radar, you know? What is that? Oh, yes, the purse. Good catch, good catch. So there's always this lighting through here where we can see like the chair heads through the windows. What is this object? Oh, it was the steering yoke. Uh-oh. Are we going to have a visit by the maggot again? Oh. That looked like a big worm. So in in 7, there was a creature that could appear in the pool There was like a giant earthworm with the human face on its side. Dancing bottle. The click in space, the little processing thing, is tethered to whatever you clicked. So if that thing moves around, the processing icon will move around. Which indicates that the game is actually doing like a hit scan. It is saying what is under your cursor. Bananas. The ranch house had the banana swarm intruder. M-U-M-O-U-S? Something. People keep leaving stuff in the toilet. So far, we've gotten some repeats this run compared to the last run, or looking at the last run. But we still haven't had repeats within a run. Let's see, is the gate foggy at the back? Is it? We're in the final hour. They tend to speed up. And like I said, we're at 2 to 3. Oh, okay, yeah. A second post here? No. Hey, bud. It is a generic intruder. The guy just watching you is one that shows up not infrequently. I think there was a version of him way back in the corn at the ranch. So, oh yeah, that potted plant's always there. Victory is within our grasp, but we need to find something real soon. jacket moved from here to here. Okay, really good that we found that. That could put us back at 2. Let's find one more extra object. Okay, victory is definitely within our grasp here. 2 in a row means we're at 0 or 1. We have some wiggle. Always a poster here. Yeah, there's like a bag or something here, but it's real hard for me to see. So I have to kind of move my head around to get the glare in a different spot. Completed the airplane. Nice. We were close to loss there towards the end, but that 2 in a row is a big difference. Okay, the fashion venue. Reports of possible anomalous events have prompted heightened blank of a fashion show in Berlin's Redacted. The invite-only event is described as a showcase for an anonymous up-and-coming designer known for their occult influences. But a visitor to the event contacted local authorities reporting redacted during the event. Despite the venue having been redacted, remote surveillance indicates that the catwalk models continue their routine as if in a deep trance. Hey there, is it Lisu? Welcome, either way, welcome. Preliminary information indicates that the show's exclusive invite list was comprised of potential customers of Black Market Redacted, being supplied by representatives of Redacted, a Korean headquartered corporation. Organizers' notes found on site refer to a large guest of honor with Redacted expected to be in attendance, for the evening. Doing well, Lisu. We just finished the 2nd level. Oh, it's going to be one of those places. The places with art that is effectively, you deserve the haunting. Chandelier, 4 bottles on each. Monk, twisty guy. Camera, hat, bag. Models in black and gold, all pale to lights, spotlights. Windows, curtains. Purple bottles, purple, orange. Coats. Here. There are a lot of little things. Mannequin head. Oh, no. Oh, this room is full of details. It is an enjoyable game. Oh. So this face right here, this is one of the intruders from the 7th game. This is the worm I was referring to. Well, thank you, Lisu. Thank you. I appreciate it. It turned out well. Oh, and there are a lot of cameras, too. I am not the artist. Animasset did the art for it in the rigging. This one was Dende and Inkcheck. Is the light different in here? I think that's wrong. Yeah. So the lighting one would have appeared here as well, light anomaly. But either of them count. That was not the case in most of the prior games. Hat, camera, bag, spotlights. Bottles, coats. Not as confident of the layout of the bottles over there. Not confident of this room at all. He's totally going to move around. We are going to get a mannequins look at you thing here. I play a lot of other games. We actually started this stream, Lisu, with PowerWash Simulator. Apparently, these guys just keep doing the catwalk. They're like entranced. I have done longer streams of like narrative games, Lisu. But generally have to be picky about those because they consume a lot of streams. The other thing that we do is we're writing a game, so we have programming streams. One of these. Was it always 4, or was there a 5th one? Playing this game, this is the second stream that we've been doing this game. The images. Bottles, monk, twisty guy. Seems wrong. Like the hat is sticking out of it, but yeah. Yeah, that there was like a mannequin sticking out of it. This game is actually really enjoyable, Lisu. It can be a bit high concentration, but if you like that and you like a creepy atmosphere with the occasional jump scare. Jump scare is definitely not the core of the game's mechanic, missing coats, but it does happen where you will just notice something strange out of the corner of your eye, or something will move into frame suddenly or react suddenly. A lot of the like creatures that you encounter in this will do things like lunge at you or get right up in your face. I like to try to find detective games. Like a spill here? I don't recall that being there. I do have a detective one lined up. Is there another row of chairs? I try, Lusu, I try. We do try to cultivate a nice, calm atmosphere. Is this mannequin always here? The legs in the corner? Apparently it was. Not sure I understand the question, Lisu. Coats, 3 rows, lights, tablet thing. Tablet thing with what appears to largely be a pallet. Mannequin head. Oh, thank you, Lisu. I hope you have a good one as well. Once it comes around. Is the desk always off kilter like this? I will likely still be in the facility. I don't know if I'll be streaming. It will come down to how that day's going. There are 3 things still wrong. Wait. Is it always looking that far back and left? I guess so. What is that? It's just a thing. One of the additions, starting with Observation Duty 7, was living creatures that are supposed to be there. This is the twisty guy replacing one of these statues. We're doing okay for assets lately, Lisu. We've got a lot of extra stuff on our Twitch channel that I haven't put back yet. It was removed for a period, but I haven't replaced it. And as far as like Stream Chrome and the like, we're all set. I appreciate the impending offer, though. Just don't remember that being there. Or that. Camera, bag, hat. Outfits seem the same. Could also be things like different numbers of lights. We've got an awful lot of mannequins around this place. Again, this is one of the areas where you're looking at it and being like, you deserve to get haunted. Like, you brought this on yourself. Hey, Ilman. Isn't there something around here? Ugh. Something had moved in the catwalk, aside from the models, you know. The lobby had a dead body. Was that a dead body? And something got swapped in the storage. Okay. Okay, this was a dead body. I couldn't tell what it was. Okay, this spill is supposed to be there. Those mannequins and those posters are supposed to be there. The chairs. The chairs were rotated. I mean, it makes sense. They would have been facing the camera. Lisu, there is a link to the Discord in the link tree. I generally avoid any sort of direct messaging on Discord. There is a board on the Discord that is specifically for people showing off art they've made or similar. Make no guarantees about any sort of follow-up on proposed art. Stool, chair. Wonder if that stool went missing. Or it was swapped out. Okay, anomaly should now be active. Yeah, there were multiple things wrong with this room last time. Mannequin bottles. There's a figure in that mirror. Detroit Become Human. I did play that. I enjoyed it. There were some elements of it that I feel like they could have done a little bit better. But the games that person has directed are pretty good. Like Heavy Rain was pretty good. Coats, Worm Dude. Hey there, Exploited. I did see the request, Lisu. Generally, I check Discord after streams. So it won't be until later where I would look at that. Two statues. Always 3 chairs? I guess it was. Okay, there's got to be something we're missing already. Outfits seem the same. Darting my mouse around to the things that are more readily apparent, so I just get my eyes over on them, you know? This seems different. Yeah. Most of the others were like women's coats and like torso wear, you know? Something feels off in here already. Monk statue moved. It's supposed to be over here. It's tricky, Ullman. It's tricky. A lot of it is like building familiarity. In a minute. Okay, 4. 4 bottles on each table. Camera bag, hat, bag. 2 here. I hope they never change the number of those. Brown, black. 3 coats, 4 coats. This is the first, this is our first go at the fashion show here. I'm sorry, this is our second on this level. Second on this level. Something's wrong with that. Movement? Has it lifted up? Let's... Am I just completely misremembering the stripe? I think I would have remembered that, but... This has been replaced. This is normally a mannequin torso. Mannequin, mirrors, picture, coats, bottles, chairs, chair. Wizard's bobble hat. Oh, okay, there are 5 more of those around. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. Where's the 6th one? There it is. No wizard hat jump scare? Okay. Normally the localized anomalies have a jump scare aspect to them. like as it's ending, you get you get an event. Like when we were counting bananas, when we were finding bananas in the kitchen, once we found all of them, a banana lunged up and like the stem looked at the camera as it was finishing. Okay, these moved. Counting trash bags, finding trash bags on the porch of the ranch house. After you had cleared the last one, a guy with rubber gloves and a trash bag for a head was visible as it was processing. And mirrors, coats, bottles, 4 chairs, plus that one. This rotate or something? It did not. Thought the lamp was a little to the side. I like particular kinds. I like psychological horror games. Like, I'm not a fan of action horror or cabinet stealth, you know? Where you flee the monsters by constantly, like, jumping into cabinets or other stealth boxes. It's a tricky variation on the genre, you know? Oh, okay, they're corpses now. They replaced? Is that what they're saying? Because they're not dead bodies. Okay, the models have been replaced. Okay, that still scans. Generally, like, classic horror content is usually, like, gory or violent. Are two things that they tend to lean towards. Psychological horror is more about making you feel unsettled or feeling dread, that kind of thing. There's something here. Ah, there's another chair that's missing. Chair. Non-trivial part of this game is something feels wrong. You know, some part in your brain is like, that's not right. Yeah, Elman. Deep caves and whatnot, where there's this building sensation that something bad might happen or that something is wrong. Find this object. Okay, that's new. We haven't had that before. You have 1 minute to locate this thing. Well done. Meet the collector. Oh, so that's another new thing in this game, is that there are collectible objects, particular anomalies that as soon as you click them, they're permanently, like, collected. Like, you found the secret item on this level. We found there was a thing in a suitcase on the airport. There was a little model car on the ranch. And this one was a ring in the dressing room. There might be multiple per level. They don't show up all the time. It's supposed to be there? What is that? Check. You do need to be careful about reporting an anomaly and then moving to another screen. Like we've seen, some of the intruders start a kill condition, and you want to start doing whatever you need to do to get rid of them immediately. And you can't if you are in the middle of reporting something. And we just hit 3. So failure approaches unless we can mannequin head under the hat. So these mannequins are supposed to be there. This door is supposed to be there, but it would be like it can glow bright yellow if it's not, when it's not supposed to. Something moved in the store. You're not supposed to be here. Didn't think there was a stool there, but if I completely overlooked that, one more try. Oh. 2 mannequins. Mirror's right. Be back around. We can take a look at the TV. Played Dead by Daylight. I primarily liked it when it was sort of community play, where, you know, you're playing with friends. It's not normally spray painted silver, or it's not one of the darker mannequins. Yeah. We'll try a replacement on it, because there is a TV there. I guess they wanted it to be in tall format. DVD, like a lot of games, is, I think, greatly diminished when you're trying extra hard. Like, you know, when you're hard playing to win. Some of the best content creators of it I've seen, they play to achieve a goal, not to necessarily to hard win. So, like, there are a couple of people that have practiced the Huntress enough that they can land axe hits from across the map. And their goal is to land that kind of axe hit repeatedly throughout the level and get everybody to the point where they're just about to die. Is it always dirty tile? That. Object in backstage. Feels like something has moved as well, but I don't see what's missing. I don't doubt that something could be missing, because I'm definitely missing something. Something moved in storage. Yep, missing in backstage. And one of the images was wrong in the bar. Probably that magazine. Tricky. Okay, let's see. What's missing? Is it one of these bottles? Been bottles. Would guess it's this image or maybe something over here. Okay, those lights were there. Did the head leave? And the TV is strangely sideways. One of the things I like about the game is that sometimes you will get multiple consecutive playthroughs where you never encounter anything that you've seen before. Sometimes that's because you didn't notice it, and sometimes that's because it hasn't happened to you yet. Should be active already. Could have been any number of these things. Do you see me? Text was considered an image in the ranch. Yeah, okay. There are a couple of they want a specific answer ones on this so far. Like when the actors were, or the models were replaced with like zombie versions of themselves. It wanted you to say replacement, object replacement. Which, you know, it scans as far as what happens, but there's also the, is that a dead body? Is that... You know, what are we doing here? Taro over there is spotting stuff like crazy, but so far I haven't been able to spot what they're spotting all the time. Yeah, we've got to be missing at least one thing already, though. They do a decent job of putting enough weird details in the normal set to avoid the issue of you just having to see things that are strange. So you're looking for things that are changed. This image here. So this becomes like a mannequin sticking out of the painting instead of a flat poster. So now it's a flat image. Not too fond of high-tension games myself. And that can expand into... Is there always that bag there? Probably, but... Statue moved. Like, some competitive games can get real tense, and I kind of have a limit for how much of that I can take. All right, thanks for swinging through, Elman. Mannequin, bottles, hanger coat, mannequin behind chair. Chairs, light, couch. Looks like a billfold over money or something like that there. Certainly missing something already. We're certainly missing several things already. placement. Normally just a dressmaking rig here. That kind of thing. But also, mannequin torso. The image in the mirror, but I don't know if I can't recall if we've had a tangible intruder in here other than the collector. It was neat, don't get me wrong, but are we... Oh, light. Just want to verify. Yeah, so right-click lights anywhere or left-click lights on it will both solve that one. Which, again, very good improvement. Yeah. A very eclectic selection of styles of things in these rooms. Yeah, those chairs are over there too. Okay, we're at 3. Missing coats. Beverage. Extra chair. All right. Can we turn this around? Corpse in there with the worm sculpture. Hello, Molly. Hello, Molly. That is Trash Bag Man there. From the ranch. Yes. There is a head sticking out from the coat racks, and 2 legs sticking out in the lower left in backstage. Legs and head. And another mannequin back here. Entirely normal. They just had a surplus of mannequins, so they tossed them wherever. Once again, they deserve the haunting. It's a bit of a shot in the dark there. Missing toolbox. Normally there's like a toolbox bucket kind of thing there. A storage tote. Extra bottles. Okay, that's good. That's good. This puts us back down to probably 1. Always turquoise on the ground? No, it was not. Very much not in their color scheme. The amount of overblown attention the Game Awards gets versus, you know, what it actually is. Is it always that green blob? Probably was. The darker one was there, but was there a white leg there? Is that Huge Man? It's Huge Man! Fine, have it your... What do we have to do? Because it didn't look like there was a way for us to stop him. But that was amazing. So click and hold did hurt him, but he was dishing out damage faster than we were. When he began attacking, it stopped our click and hold. So there's got to be some other nuance to it. Oh, but that is timely. I think we are going to call it there for the day. We got done with PowerWash, we cleared the airport level, and we got pretty far into the fashion venue. We got to see Huge Man again. Oh, that's a fun reoccurring gag, is Huge Man. I think he first showed up in like 3, maybe? Might have been 2. But it was good times. It was good times. We will be playing more of this in the future. Next stream should be on Saturday. But we'll see. We'll see. Might do an extra one tomorrow, but our schedule is still very wobbly. All right, folks. If you like what you saw and would like to see more, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Pressing those buttons generally helps the channel grow. If you'd like to consider financially supporting the channel, you can do so through platform-specific means, such as memberships and subscriptions, as well as through other options available on the LinkTree in my video descriptions and in my Twitch bio. With that said, folks, I hope the rest of your day is good, and I'll see you next time. But first, I'll press the right button.